Welcome to the R-Rock Project, a free open-source STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, education program for middle and high school children around the world. In this video, we'll be walking you through how to properly set up your classes and your teams, as well as how to properly facilitate a project from start to finish. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing you'll want to do once you've been accepted into the R-Rock Project is to set up your first class. To do this, you'll start by clicking the Classes button on the vertical menu on the left-hand side of your screen. For the remainder of this video, we'll be referring to this as the vertical navigation. Once you've clicked the Classes button, you'll then see a box where you can create your first class. Go ahead and type in a descriptive name such as Period 1, Fall 2015, and then hit Create. Once you hit Create, you'll see your new class in the list below the Create area, as well as a new blue tab near the top of the page. You can now either create as many classes as you may need, or continue the setup for this specific class. Now that you have at least one class set up, you'll want to create some teams within the class. Teams are how students will be grouped, so a team may consist of as few as one, or as many as all of your students. However, it's suggested you create teams of 2 to 3 students, so that the children get the greatest benefits possible from participating in the project. To create your first team, start by clicking on the name of the class that you've just created. Once inside the class page, you'll see a section near the top that says Add a Team and a box where you can input a team name. Go ahead and create as many teams as you may need. The more descriptive you are in naming them, the easier it will be to maintain them going forward. Some examples for team names may be Johnny, Susie, Mary Team, or Johnny's Team, or Team 1A, meaning Period 1, Team A, and so on. It's advised that you create all of the teams a class may need at this point, prior to creating students. As new teams are added to your class, you'll see each new team appear as a tab just below the Add a Team section. Once you've completed adding all of your teams, you're ready to start adding in your students. So now at this point, you should have at least one class created and at least one, if not all of your classes, teams created. Now it's time to start adding students to your class and assigning them to the appropriate teams. Let's get started. You should still be in the Classes view, which is the same page or view that you just added your teams from. Just below the tabs with each of your teams on them, you'll see a section called Students. Start by entering in your student's name, your student's email address, and if they don't have one, they'll need to create one. Gmail is a good option here if needed. The name of a parent, and the parent's email address. The final step is choosing the team you'd like to assign the student to, and then you'll click Create Student. It's very important that you enter a correct email address for the parent email, as the system is going to send a parent permission form to that email address. Until the parent receives this email and submits the approval within the email, the student account will remain inactive. If your student's parent does not receive the email or is having trouble accessing it in any way, you as the teacher have the ability to easily resend the approval email in a few different ways. Start by navigating to your Students tab and make sure you're in the All Students view. Now search your list of students looking for the student in question. Next to the drop-down box that contains the student's class name, you'll see 2 buttons. To start, hover over each button, and you can read a brief description of what action it will perform. As you'll read, the first button will allow you to simply resend the email to the parent via the R-Rock Project email account. This is great for a situation where the parent accidentally deleted the email or in a situation where they never received the initial email. However, if the parent still does not receive or respond to the email for some reason, you can simply resend them an email personally via the school's email account with a link to the parental approval page included. To do this, follow these steps. First, click the second button option with a link icon on it. This will copy the link to your clipboard so that you may paste it into an email. Second, open up a new email in your preferred email account, for example, Gmail, and paste the link into the message. You can do this by pressing Ctrl-V or right-click and selecting Paste. Once you've pasted the link into your personal message to the parent, you can hit Send, and the email should arrive in their inbox with an email address that the parent is used to looking for. If you're still experiencing problems getting a particular parent approval, you may have to send a handwritten note home with the student to give to their parent or guardian. Please remember that as this is a school project, the student is still able to participate in the project with a handwritten permission form, but we cannot host their film in our library without an electronic parent's approval. And as always, please feel free to contact us directly for any assistance or questions. We are here to help you in any way we can, and appreciate your desire to participate in the RROC project. You can now go ahead and enter in all of your students and assign them to the appropriate classes. As the student's parents submit the permission form, you'll see the student's name change from Pending, with a yellow highlight background, to Approved, with a green highlight background. Once all of your students have been entered into the system, you're ready to start setting up your project workflow. At this point, you should now have at least one class created, the teams for your class created, and students added to your class and assigned to their respective teams. Once you have all of this in place, you're now ready to set up your project workflow. Start by navigating to your vertical menu and clicking the Projects link. On this page, you'll first need to select the class that you would like to work in. Next, you'll need to select the team whose project you would like to manage. Traditionally, film production is done in 3 stages: pre-production, production, and post-production. However, as the film topic for each team may be different, or you may wish to modify the project process to your needs, you may also have the option to add up to 3 sub-assignments or benchmarks under each of the 3 production stages. This will allow you to keep track of each team's progress as they proceed through the filmmaking process. This also gives you the chance to review the students' work, make sure they're heading in the right direction and are on schedule for completing their projects. Let's set up an example. We're going to open up our test class and manage the project for New Team. As you can see, the first view you'll see will be your project progress timeline, with red X's across the board, which indicates that nothing has been submitted yet for these stages. We also have 3 tabs across the top: Progress, Assignments, and Upload. Let's start by adding 1 sub-assignment under each step of the production process, which will give us 6 total steps or milestones. To do this, start by clicking on the Assignments tab at the top of the screen. On this screen, you'll see 3 boxes: Pre-production, Production, and Post-production. Click on the Pre-production box, and it should expand to show several different input areas. For now, you can ignore the first area, as it doesn't pertain to the project setup process, but we'll come back to this later on in the video. Just below the first box, you'll see an area marked Sub-assignments, with a row that says Add New. Go ahead and click on this row. You should now see a field where you can input a name for your new sub-assignment. Let's call ours Sub 1. This should now create a new text area box below the initial one, just like ours. Now that you've created your first sub-assignment, go ahead and create 2 more called Sub 2 and Sub 3 for the production and post-production steps. You'll need to repeat this process for any additional teams within your classes that may require a customized production process. Once you've finished setting up the project process for all of your teams, we're ready to move on to the next step. At this point, you should have your classes set up, your teams set up, your students added to your classes and assigned to their appropriate teams, and any customized project workflows in place that you may need for any of your teams. Now, your next step is officially launching your student projects in class. Once your students have begun their projects and are ready to submit either their pre-production or pre-production sub-assignment work, They'll be able to log into their student dashboards using their email addresses and the passwords designated at the time of sign-up. To start, the students can all navigate to the Assignments tab within their dashboard, which is where they will upload all of their assignments. It's best if one student is responsible for his team, but any student from a team may upload work to their team's assignments. Once the students have submitted an assignment, you'll see the text show up for that team in your teacher dashboard. Once you've seen the submission, you can review it and decide to either mark as complete or let the students know they need further revision on their work. If you navigate back to your Progress tab, you'll notice that a green check mark now shows for submissions that are marked as complete, allowing you to easily track the progress of your students at a glance. Once your students have gone through the full video production process and completed each milestone in the workflow, you're ready to begin the video upload process. Now that your teams have finished filming and producing their film projects, they're ready to be uploaded to the R-Rock project for approval and inclusion in the R-Rock project archive. For safety and security reasons, we do not allow for students to upload their videos directly, so they'll need to provide the videos to you on a thumb drive, hard disk, CD, or other form of transferable media. Once you have all the films and associated transcripts from your students, you'll want to navigate to the Projects tab within your vertical navigation and then open up the team whose film you'd like to upload. Once inside the team view, go ahead and click the Upload button. You'll now see two fields where you can first enter a descriptive video name and video description. Next, you'll need to attach a full transcript of the film for captioning and translation. Finally, attach the video file and then click the Upload button. Depending on the size of the video you're uploading, this can take anywhere from 1 to 10 minutes, so make sure to give the video enough time to fully submit. For the video file of the team's film, it is recommended that you use an MP4 codec, as this will ensure the process moves smoothly and quickly for you. Now that your films have been submitted to the R-Rock project, our team will go through each one of them to make sure that the content, style, and quality are appropriate and that all required guidelines have been followed. Once our team has been able to verify your video, it will then be approved and included in the R-Rock project archive. If for whatever reason one of your films does not meet a certain guideline or criteria, the film will be denied and feedback will be provided. If your film is not approved the first time it's submitted, this does not mean that you cannot resubmit it. We encourage all of our student filmmakers to use the constructive criticism provided to improve their films, as we're always excited to add new films to the R-Rock project archive. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We appreciate your interest in the R-Rock project and look forward to seeing what your students produce. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us or simply post your inquiry to any of our social media pages. Our staff monitors the sites on a daily basis, and we'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions.